Welcome to the channel, and today I have a very nice video. This is a video from Valuetainment. I took it from Valuetainment. It's about Pat, and he's talking about taking responsibility for your own life. You see, if you don't like the place that you are living, if you don't like the life that you are living, if you don't like the job you are living, if you don't like the life that you are living, you as a person, you have to take responsibility for it. I've been saying this and sharing it with a lot of people, even on this channel. I've said it a couple of times. I've shared it with some of the people I know, some of my friends. And as I said, your life depends on you, the individual. If you want to become successful, it depends on you, the individual. It's not about God, it's not about the government, it's not about your society, it's not about the school you went to. But your life is in your own hands. You have to take responsibility for your own hands. I do not like the life that I'm living, so I've taken steps and I'm trying to enhance my life and trying to build my business and become more successful. If you do not like the life that you are living or what you are going through, it could be a marriage, it could be anything, or a business, or your financial, anything in life. If you do not want it, you have to take responsibility for yourself and then do it. Stop blaming other people for your misery. Stop blaming other people for your failures. Take responsibility for your own life, something that you've done. Take responsibility, own up, and sit down and say, okay, I messed up. What can I do to correct my life? And stop blaming people. Stop blaming God, the government, your family, your friends, your boss, your teachers. No, you have to man up and take responsibility for your own life. If you want to be successful, take responsibility for your whole life. I think this is a nice video I'm sharing. I think it's very educative. And if you watch this video, I know you're going to learn something from it. So please, here's the video, watch it, and then you're going to learn something from it.
If you know every show on Netflix and you're broke, you have a problem. You're lazy. If you know every hit song that comes out and you're broke, you're lazy. If you know every single post on social media of other people's lives and you don't have another hustle that you're working, you have to accept the fact that you're lazy. Let me go a little bit deeper with this on my own personal life. My hip hop music stops in 03. I'm being that serious with you.
I swear to God.
Mine stops in 03.
Yeah.
My nightlife stops in 03. My chasing of women the way I did stopped in 03. My desire to want to watch and consume every single sporting event that I never missed a Lakers game from the moment I came to the States. And when I joined the Army boot camp, obviously you can't watch TV. But then afterwards, I've never missed a Laker game from the age of being 12 years old coming to the States to the age of being 24 years old, 23 years old. Lakers was my religion. Sports stats was my religion. And I was broke. And my dad kept having heart attacks. And my dad worked at a 99-cent store on Manchester and Normandy while I'm working at Bally's 60 hours a week. I'm working at Bally's. I'm the top sales guy at Bally's because I wanted my dad to be done, but I couldn't make enough money. I was making $3,000 a month. But at the time when I was off, I wasn't working a side business. I was doing anything to entertain myself. Mm-hmm. We are fooling ourselves if we're going to sit there and just put all the responsibility on the people who have succeeded and not put any responsibility on the folks at the bottom that we're going to say, well, poor you, you're working so hard. But then how do you know so much about all these shows? I don't understand. I've never watched this Montana. What is this Montana show? What is this show?
Ozarks?
Yellowstone. I don't even know I don't know what Yellowstone is. I've never watched Breaking Bad. I've never watched Sopranos. I've never watched an episode of Sopranos. The only series I've ever watched from 03 till today is House of Cards season 1 because people kept telling me I got to watch it. So as much as we want to sit there and say, oh my gosh, poor me, poor this, poor that, which I come from a family where half of them were communist and half of them were imperialist. The one on the communist side, that's all they ever talked about. Their Bible was Communist Manifesto. Mm-hmm. And the ones on the right, they kept saying, you know, why don't you do something? Every time it was more fun for me to talk to the communists than it was to talk to the conservatives because the communists would feel sorry for me and it was safe. And it was warm. It was fuzzy. It was so much better. Every time I went to the communists, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, it's them. I'm like, that's right. You're right. And I would feel special. But every time I went and talked to these suckers on the other side, the conservatives, they would say, what are you doing about it? Why don't you make a change? Why don't you pick up a book? Why don't you get another job? I'm like, bullshit. You don't understand. This is unfair. Eventually, I'm 23 years old, looking at my bank account, broke. And I said, which philosophy do you want to buy into, Pat? Which one do you want to buy into? Then I chose. So now, is there things on the elitist side that's happening as well? Sure. But for us to fool ourselves thinking people don't have any options to make a change.
Wait. So, but you skipped over the most important part. Okay, so you chose. You did. So, how did you get from Bally's to here? Like, walk me through that.
I went into military and I got some discipline for 2.5 years because I didn't have it.
Thank you for your service. By the way.
Anytime. So I needed it. So I think many boys who are undecided, military is a good choice for them. I got out. When I got out, I worked at Bally's. While I'm working at Bally's, a guy named Robbie Solomon and my sister recommended me to read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Keep in mind, I hate books. Till 21 years old, anybody who knows me from high school, they know I've never finished the book cover to cover. Never. I've never finished the book. I never finished, Of Mice of Men. I never finished, what's the one with Nelly petting, is it Lenny? Lenny was petting the rabbit.
That's Of Mice and Men.
What was the other one?
The same book that he didn't finish.
What's the one that was then
1984.
Okay, no.
Fahrenheit 451. Are you saying the books they assigned you in high school?
Listen, I've never finished a book cover to cover. Never until 21. And Robbie said, read How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. And I did. And then my sister said, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a good book to read. I read those two books. When I read those two books, I sat there and I said, this information is in a book for $10? Holy shit. What other recommendation you got? Next one. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Psycho-cybernetics. Power versus Force. And I kept reading. And I'm like, this information is insane. Then I started realizing I'm making way too many excuses. I'm blaming the world for my problems. I'm not taking any responsibility. Some of the mindsets that my mother's side gave me is right. Some of it isn't right. Some of the mindsets that my dad gave me is right. Some of it isn't right. I stopped questioning things. And I said, listen, if I want my life to change, I got to make a decision about it. My parents brought me here to be free. My dad gave me work ethic. And next thing you know, I start, I'm dating a girl named Jean-Vier who's working at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. And I said, so why is it that, you have all these nice cars? And she says, well, I work at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. I said, how can I get a job there? She says, you need to go to UCLA. I said, I'm not going to school. She says, they're not going to hire you. I said, I'm not going to go to college. She says, you're not going to work at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. I said, let me see if I can find a creative way to get a job. So I went and printed my resume, okay, and I put a cover letter with a nice joke, getting creative. I faxed it to 200 places, Goldman, Merrill, Smith Barney, TD Waterhouse, Morgan, all of these places. I got 30 callbacks. 15 of them laughed because the joke was funny. Yeah. The other 15 offered me an interview. 3 gave me offers. At 21 years old, I started working on Morgan Stanley Dean Witter a day before 9/11.